West Main Street, Rochester. Starting at the top, we have a set of a ladder coming down from the upper roof. There's a wire around that ladder that needs to be relocated so it's not wrapped around the fire escape. Fire escape needs paint, cleaning and paint. And the right side of that upper railing is a little loose and needs to be secured. Here we're coming down a set of stairs. The metal is in pretty good shape, but the stringers and the treads need to be resecured. There's bolts that are missing all throughout this staircase. You got missing bolts and they need to be resecured. And that leads to this catwalk along here, leading to the lower section of the fire escape. This is the upper section of West Main Street in Rochester. We've got a ladder leading down from the roof. Needs a good scrape and paint. A couple of additional fasteners, but not in bad shape. Section of stairs leading down to this roof surface. Not a lot of metal degradation, but we need some additional fasteners. We got to fasten that stringer into the building and refasten all the stair treads to the stringers. This section needs a good scrape and paint. And then this leads to the lower section of the fire escape. It will show that in another video. That's what leads down to the ground. Here we are again at the upper staircase. Here's a good example of a stair tread that's not fastened to the stringer. There's some rust backing in here. So these treads need to be re-secured to the stringers. You can see where they've made some repairs, welded in a few pieces. A little bit of a band-aid approach there. This leads down onto the catwalk. We got one section of the catwalk that's actually loose, but it's secured properly, it just isn't fastened in place. And that leads to the lower section of the fire escape. Now in the lower section we have an inclined ladder, spalled brick that should be attended to. Similar situation with these stair treads. There's fasteners that are needed to make sure that the treads are secured to the stringers. There's not a lot of material loss in the metal on the treads or the stringers. But in this section, that fastener right there is not secured to the building. So the whole thing shakes because it's not secured. So this inclined stairway needs to be secured to the building. Next section as we come down is very similar to that upper section. Ensuring that the treads are secured to the stringers. Certainly scraping and repainting. Some additional fastening between the stringer and the building so that we don't get this wobbling. The anchors into the building at those brackets is pretty good. Now we're down to the This is the lowermost section of the fire escape. A short set of steps with very large treads, almost small landings. Repacking those connections between the brackets and the building. Those are not through connections. And there's a bracket right there on the windowsill that is missing the bolts. We need to see some bolts there. Repacking those connections. Again, as is the case with the rest of this fire escape, it needs good scraping and painting. You can see here where there's bolts that are just missing. And here we have probably the biggest concern with this fire escape. This cantilevered section apparently hasn't been down for a long time, and I don't believe it works, and I'm not feeling comfortable going out onto it because I don't think that pivot is going to operate properly. The pivot point is fine, but the counterweight and pulley system is suspect. Those pulleys are heavily rusted, and you can see where that bracket is bent. The bracket needs to be replaced, the pulleys need to be replaced, and the counterbalance system needs to be restored so that this incline ladder can pivot properly downward, which it is not doing at this point.
Life safety issues exist. Emergency repairs required before restoration to make ready for intended use. Failed with major repairs. Technical repair report for bidding. Restoration with permit by a fully licensed vendor. Engineer oversight. 3 site visits. Certification with owner liability in lieu of a load test.